In this video, I want to tell you why you need to stop running ads for your print-on-demand business, or why you shouldn't even begin to run ads unless you fit a very specific criteria. The most important thing in print-on-demand, and any business really, is that you have a profitable profit margin. If you don't have a profitable profit margin, then you have to ask yourself, why are you selling that product? If there isn't a bigger picture, right? Sometimes it's worth to sell for a loss if there is a bigger picture and it's going to lead to something bigger. But if it's not leading to anything bigger, then does it make sense to sell for a loss? Somehow I doubt with print on demand it's leading to something bigger. So it makes absolutely no sense to lose money on print-on-demand sales. Now, sometimes, like in the case of Amazon merch, it could be worth it to sell at cost price, so you're not losing money, but you're not gaining any money, and hopefully that will help you get out of tier 10. So that's like the closest I can think in the whole losing money debate. But as a whole, it makes absolutely no sense for you to outwardly lose money by running ads for your print-on-demand business. You'll have different profit margins for different companies. For example, if you sold a Redbubble shirt for $24.99, you'd make $6.87. This isn't terrible. With Printful at $24.99, you'll make around $16.98. Drastically different. Now, I'm telling you these two companies in particular for a specific reason that I'm gonna, explain a bit later on in the video. If you want to see all the different costs for all the different companies, you can check out this video up here or up here, wherever it is, where I break down the costs of nearly all the print-on-demand companies out there. Now that we know the profit margin on various platforms that we could end up using, we have to factor in ad cost on various platforms that we could be advertising on. And recently, I've actually been seeing a lot of ads going to Redbubble on Facebook. It just makes no sense to me. I actually clicked through some of those ads and they didn't lead to $30 t-shirts. They led to normal priced t-shirts, which led me to believe, where is the profit margin for these people? As well as that, sending paid traffic to Redbubble makes absolutely no sense because you don't acquire the customer. Yes, you may get a sale, but that's just looking at it through a very, very narrow window. You've got to broaden your mind when it comes to using ads, and you've got to figure out how can you fully acquire that customer, make sure they come back for more, make sure you can stay in contact with them. Now with Redbubble, you don't get their email, you can't send them a newsletter, you can't send them new products that you come out with. So it just doesn't make sense to pay for people to come to your Redbubble products. There's a few rules when running ads and a few more rules when running ads for print on demand. Let me break them down for you. 1, the t-shirt needs to be profitable. 2, you need to somehow grab their email address. 3, you need to track every stage of the journey, from clicking the ad to adding to the basket to then buying. 4, the t-shirt has to have viral ability. This might be impossible to know, but you can make a very good guess. 5, the audience has to be scalable and expandable. 6, you need some sort of upsell or other products to recoup potential losses. Now that you know these rules, let's move on. But I just want to quickly say, these rules aren't set in stone. This is just my experience after spending tens of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads, specifically for the print-on-demand business. A lot of people say a good rule of thumb is $10 per sale with a Facebook ad, and I call BS on this. I don't know where this number comes from, but it's such rubbish. Please don't listen to it, okay? Because you can have an ad, and I've had ads that have cost me $1 per sale, and I've had ads that have cost me $20 per sale. It's impossible to put a number to the cost of an ad because every audience is unique. Every ad is unique, every t-shirt is unique, everything is unique, even every ad creation is unique. For example, I have actually tested this. I have done an ad and then waited a week, done the exact same ad and got totally different results. So in this case, it's really hard to plan for how much your ad could cost. The only thing you can do is to kind of figure out how much wiggle room you have based on your profit margins and then you can see what you can afford to spend on ads, rather than set yourself this ads are going to cost $10, and then they'll be profitable. That might not be the case. So for example, if your t-shirt is bringing in $16 of profit, you can factor that in. That $16 is how much it's going to be for break even when it comes to running an ad. Now, if that ad costs you $12, then you're pocketing $4. It's not a lot of money, but profit is profit, right? And then you can scale it up and make even more money, right? So that's how you can kind of work it out. It's all based on your original profit margin. Now, of course, there could be other expenses to factor in. For example, if you're selling on Shopify or Etsy, you're going to have those expenses of the actual platform, selling the product or paying the membership for Shopify. All of these have got to be factored in to your bottom line. So I know I haven't been much help in telling you exactly how much your ads are going to cost, and that's because I can't tell you. No one can tell you. And if someone does turn around and tell you how much your ad is going to cost, please ignore them. They have no idea what they're talking about. And for someone to tell you your ad is going to cost a specific amount of money just doesn't make any sense, because like I said, every ad is unique. What should you do then? Well, I wouldn't recommend using ads for that specific reason. However, there is certain criteria which I said I would talk about at the beginning of this video, that if you fit into this criteria, running ads might be suitable for you. If you are selling t-shirts and have an abnormally high profit margin, I would say anything over $13, then that's pretty good. That's a good amount of wiggle room to actually run some ads. So I would say, you know what, why not try your hand at a couple of Facebook ads, maybe some Instagram ads, see what happens, see if you make any money. But don't expect to make money, but you can always try to make money. But bear in mind that this criteria is if you have that wiggle room with that profit margin. Now, if your profit margin is lower than that, I would say avoid it, because you are going to struggle to make money with your print-on-demand t-shirts, mainly due to the fact that the majority of your t-shirts, and everyone's t-shirts, including mine, not just yours, will ultimately fail with Facebook ads, right? And it's you could say, 1 out of 10 t-shirts succeeds. What you want to really aim for is to have one really, really successful t-shirt that just blows everything out of the water, and it allows you to recoup all of that lost money. But that only works if your profit margin is high enough. The next thing to consider is, who are you targeting? I really only think Facebook ads is a viable option if you're planning on doing multiple levels of targeting. By that I mean, targeting mums who like coffee and dogs, right? That's 3 levels of targeting. The reason I say this is because the way an ad works is, if you do a newsfeed ad, people will be scrolling through their phone, right? They'll just be, scrolling through their phone, and an ad needs to grab their attention and break them away from that senseless scroll. And in order for an ad to do that, it has to be really targeted. Now, of course, we see ads on Facebook every single day that aren't targeted. It could be for a water bottle or a pair of jogging pants or whatever it may be. But you have to understand, these big companies have the most ridiculous budgets when it comes to Facebook ads, budgets that we don't have, right? We really don't have these budgets. So the way to counter having a small budget is to make an ad so targeted so that when someone is scrolling and they see something that just calls out to them on so many levels, a mother who likes dogs and coffee, they're scrolling like, whoa, this is weird, right? I like coffee, I like dogs, I have 4 kids, I'm a mother, and then, well, I'm not a mother, but that really, that kind of like screams out to them, and that can make them stop in their tracks and actually look at your ad. That is why I think that is another very important factor to whether or not you'll have successful ads with Facebook specifically. So 1 is a high profit margin, and 2 is very, very targeted. Ask yourself, do you fit into these 2 categories? Unfortunately, most people don't fit into these categories, and that's for 2 reasons. Number 1, t-shirt prices have gone up drastically over the last few years, making your profit margin just non-existent or so unbelievably small that running ads seems like an impossibility. And 2, Facebook ads have become so much more expensive that, like 5 years ago, a cheap t-shirt and cheap ads was the perfect recipe to make a ridiculous amount of money. But now you have expensive t-shirts and expensive ads, makes it almost impossible to run successful campaigns. Almost, remember, I said almost. Not entirely impossible, but almost. So, all in all, if you are asking yourself, should you create ads for your print-on-demand business, 9 times out of 10, I would say don't bother. And I know I've made many videos on Facebook ads and print-on-demand in particular, and I would say those videos are aimed specifically at people who fit the criteria of targeting and the criteria of profit margin. And it's totally okay not to fit that criteria. It's very normal not to fit that criteria, which is why so few people actually run successful Facebook ads for their t-shirts. You don't have to be upset, that you can't run ads. It's totally normal, and you can still be incredibly profitable without running any ads for the print-on-demand business. And I just want to quickly say as well, I'm specifically talking about Facebook ads. I'm not talking about Instagram ads, or even though that's kind of similar, or TikTok ads, YouTube ads, Google ads for that matter. I'm only talking about Facebook ads. And now I'm not saying, go and run ads with all the other platforms because you'll be super profitable. I don't know as much because I haven't run ads for print on demand with those platforms nearly as much as I've run ads on Facebook for print on demand. So I don't really feel like commenting on them just because I haven't tested them enough. I hope you liked this video. I hope it helped you a bit, and I hope it made you realize that ads may not be the way forward for your print on demand business. Let me know in the comments down below if you've used ads and if you've been successful with them. And I just want to end by saying thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and help me get to 50,000 subscribers.